real estate agents. Welcome to the Weekly Closer. I'm your host, Jeff Underwood, along with my co-host, Joey Sampaga, better known as the man who thinks he has a plan. What's going on today?
No plan today.
No plan?
Just shooting from the hip today.
That's the way to do it, right?
Let's do it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We are the Real Estate Marketing Maniacs.
Awesome person today.
Awesome person. We've got an amazing guest with us today. I switched that up on you. Yeah, that's right. We have Tiffany Topie with WestUSA Realty. How are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great.
Oh, wow.
Fantastic.
She just went all sweet sounding.
Oh, yeah. What was that all about? I hate sports. Don't ask me questions. No. Oh, this is the girl that likes to watch hockey fighting.
Yes.
And she comes in with a sweet little voice. I'm good.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's up here?
We're drinking blue collar hockey.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. You have a favorite beer?
Well, I love Franz's Connor. Wheat beer. Franz's Connor. It's German.
Okay.
I get it in my
German.
stocking every year.
Hopefully still in the container.
Yes.
As it runs through the bottom. No. So why don't we tell the agents that are watching or listening how long you've been in real estate, because I think this was, this story is going to, I think, make a lot of people go, uh-oh, wow,
Yeah.
I need to get back to work. So why don't you start with how long you've been in real estate and kind of what got you into it?
Okay, so I was a counselor for 17 years in the high school, and then I became a realtor part-time. It was just always my passion. I loved houses. I loved looking at houses. I loved researching houses. We bought a lot of houses. But it just didn't present an opportunity, raising 3 kids. And, with being in the schools, we had retirement, all that fun stuff. So it was kind of like taking a risk and diving off the deep end. And
Yeah.
so, but eventually we got in a position where we could do that. And my husband said, go for it. So I went, got my license. I did it part-time for about a year. And then now I decided last year not to sign my contract. And I've been full-time for less than a year.
Wow.
Full-time, less than a year.
Yes.
So let's see. So you didn't renew the contract. So that probably ended what? At the end of school year?
Yeah.
May, June?
Yeah, ended May, beginning of June.
So
Yeah.
really only about 7 months.
Yes.
8 months.
Full-time.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You miss teaching?
Yeah, no.
She's like, no.
No.
You don't miss all
No.
those high schoolers?
No, I left because I was so, I solved problems all day long,
Sure.
major problems. They were huge, trust me. But at the same time, when I got home, I have 3 kids. I didn't want to listen to their problems. I had no energy for their problems. I really didn't care about their problems compared to what I was listening to during the day. And I'm like, I have nothing to give to my own children, so I need to find a career, which I always wanted to do this, but a career that I could be there for my kids as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So since that time, or in that first year, over the last 12 months or so, you mentioned over $8 million in closings.
Yes.
That's a big number.
Yeah, I
That's a
know.
real big
Most money
number.
I've ever made in my life.
Wow. No, that is going from a public school system.
$8
Yeah,
million
right, exactly. No, it is. They are not appreciated.
No, $8 million in volume. Joey got excited over there. $8 million.
Got me
I had
all
$8 million
excited.
in commission. What's your secret? I should write a book.
There you go.
Should.
That would sell. It would sell.
It would definitely sell.
Psych at the end.
Yeah, right. Oh, whoops, that was
Oh,
my
gosh.
sales.
Over $8 million though in 1 year. That's a really good. I mean, especially first year. So that's great. Why don't you share then, like, how this happened? Like, what got you to the point where you were just like, I'm going to do this. This is it, and you made it happen.
Well, I started out with an amazing mentor. As a counselor, I worked with another counselor, and her husband was a real estate agent, and we hang out with him all the time, camp, travel, all that kind of stuff. And he just continued to motivate me, like, just do it. Like, just, you can do it. You'll be great at it. Because I used to be in business before I was a counselor. We worked in the automotive industry. I grew up that way. My mom was actually a real estate agent. But it wasn't a blend that way. I didn't do it because of her.
Yeah.
Anyway, and so he kind of just hyped me up, and he totally was like that cheerleader behind you. And he gave me, he always gave me the honest truth, like, okay, it's going to be great, Tiffany, but really this is what's happening too. You know, it's going to be hard and sleepless nights and hours away from your family. And, it might look good from the outside, but it's hard work. And his wife always told me she'd never see him, and he's going to, die early from the stress.
Wow. Oh, no.
But anyway,
do you find that true, though? Exactly what he said?
Well, what part of it? The stress and everything? I mean, there's a lot of stress with it. But I mean, when you come from, like you say, a school income and we went to real estate, I always tried to humble myself and say, as long as I made more than I did in the schools, we're going to be fine. So everything else is a bonus. And I mean, I'm not sitting there like, oh, I'm just raking it in and throwing it, in my backyard or something. But still, as long as I got over that salary, we're good. So there was never that like insane pressure where some people that's all they have.
Yeah.
I still have my husband's income as well, so that was helpful. So not having that insane pressure out of the gate was helpful as well, which is why I stayed a counselor.
Got it.
Before I went full time.
Okay.
Anyway, so he helped me, he pushed me, and then he introduced me to the title rep, Rachel Turner and Alan with Fairway Turner, and they really like took me and raised me like a baby chick.
Yeah.
Into a bird. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so they
Business
really
development,
worked.
that's what
Yes,
they do, right?
absolutely. And
So-
they did the foundation. Like they kept, it's not just go out there, get money, sell houses, meet people. It was really building the foundation so that I would become like a recognizable brand for myself and not just WestUSA as my broker.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I remember my first meeting actually with Rachel. We were talking about like brand and logo and what should I do. And I never liked my name, Tiffany. But my dad obviously named me that for a reason because Rachel said, Tiffany box, like the blue box. Every girl wants a Tiffany box. Let's do a blue house. So see here. Oh, you didn't see that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, look at
Oh,
that.
there we
Blue
go.
house
Okay.
with the white bow. So she's like, oh, we can make a blue house with a white bow like the Tiffany box. And for my customers, I give them a Tiffany box of wine glasses or whatever it is that suits their needs. But that's my
There you
parting
go.
gift.
Okay.
So branding was huge because now when everybody sees the little blue house, they'll know it's Tiffany. And they were always thinking, if somebody doesn't know your name, they need to be able to connect you with things or see it everywhere. Like my kids have a shirt with the Tiffany box, the house on it, or so it's just brand awareness, knowing who that is without knowing who I am. Sometimes
You put a CD in there, hottest hits from Tiffany from the 80s?
Yeah, right.
No? Was that the 80s?
I never thought I should do that. Yes,
I don't
it
even
was.
know if that was the 80s.
Yeah, it was.
I actually know some of the songs.
That's
too.
weird
No,
that
I
I
do
even
too.
know that name right now. What the heck?
I wish we were
I grew
alone
up.
now.
Yes,
Something
yes,
like that.
yep. I think we're alone now.
I think
that's
we're
what it is.
alone now.
See,
Jeez.
you guys know better than I do.
Oh, my gosh.
Jeff, I didn't.
That would be a really
I
short
didn't know
CD, wouldn't it?
you
Yeah, right.
knew
She was a
that.
one-hit
song.
wonder.
She had several songs.
Yeah,
She
one.
did?
Yeah.
I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know that, Joey.
But you know the lyrics to this song. Wow.
Yes.
Just the title.
Maybe I should leave you guys alone now.
No, thank you. Okay, so we need to move on. So building up the brand,
Yeah.
right? That's important, don't you think?
No,
Every agent should think through what's their personal brand versus just the broker that they work with.
Well, and I think too, because I see it with a lot of friends. Like I said, I was able to play off of Tiffany, and my husband Matt does real estate as well. And
That song went off in my head again. Okay, I got to get rid of that. But yes.
and so we're from Michigan, so we played off the Michigan like U of M, even though we don't care about U of M as much. Well, he
Yeah,
might
you told
more
us
than
about
I.
that. No.
But he played off the M, so it would have
Yeah.
meaning. Because I think that's important too. It's not just throwing out a logo like, oh, that's really pretty. It has to have a connection to you. Like my box had a connection or something.
Yep, absolutely. Okay.
And so that was important because I think it's easier to sell that or share that brand when you have like I said, a connection or it has meaning to you.
Yeah.
So
okay.
does that answer your question? I don't even remember now.
Yeah. No, I was saying I think it's important that every agent figure out what their personal brand is.
Otherwise, you just blend in. Like a lot of people
Yeah.
go on Etsy and they get logos or whatever it is, and everybody starts to look the same.
Yeah.
And you don't stand out because there's a lot of competition out there. I mean, even in my small little niche area where I work in our neighborhood, there's tons of realtors. So I don't want to blend in.
And also, realtors tend to jump to different brokers.
Yes.
Right? And I'm not saying that everybody does it, but some people do.
A lot
And
of
you
them
always
do.
want to carry your brand, right?
Right, and they said that don't brand yourself with WestUSA. I mean, even though they're on my stuff,
Sure. Well, they have
my
to.
house can go with me, and that stuff can be there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what I'm hearing is obviously the title relationship, the mortgage relationship is very important for all agents, and the brand, the personal brand.
Yes.
But tell us about able to get the $8 million in 1 year, mostly focused on a single community. I mean,
Right.
mostly, right?
Right. No, absolutely.
So-
Actually, that's where I just keep my base, and then if people
Okay.
come to me and they want to go outside of my community, obviously I do that. But I don't go out and target all those areas. I try to stay in a smaller area, which I think is important too. If you're a realtor and you're just trying to hit, all the who knows
Drive
how
to
many
the East
square
Valley,
miles
drive
of the
to the
Phoenix.
West Valley, drive everywhere, right?
And I try not to do that too because that's a disservice. I'm not from the East Valley. I don't know anything about the East Valley.
Yeah.
I don't. I could be putting you in a terrible, unsafe place. I don't know because I don't live there.
Right.
For me, it's easy to sell my neighborhood. I live there. It's a very unique community, and so. I mean, literally, some people are like, "Oh, are you the mayor of Verrado?" Because like it's just an easy sell. I love everything about it.
You can put the little tagline across the bottom of the box there.
Yeah.
Mayor of.
Yeah, right.
No.
Mayor of Verrado. No.
So tell us so what are you doing in Verrado? I mean, what are you doing to get yourself in front of people there?
So and I don't do this because of real estate, but I've always been really involved. So out there, we have a Way Out West coalition that aligned with my counseling background because it was about substance abuse prevention for teenagers in Buckeye, which is where Verrado is.
Mm-hmm.
So I was very active with that. My husband and I do Rotary, so we do a lot of volunteer work. We're pretty passionate about veterans, and we're right near Luke Air Force Base, so we have a ton of military families.
Yeah.
In fact, almost 65-70% of my transactions have been some sort of military family.
Got it.
So we just we get involved with all of our neighborhood activity, and we throw all the block parties. Maybe that helped. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, block parties definitely help, don't they?
Yeah, who doesn't want a good block party?
That's right. That's right.
Actually, I walked into an open house and she was like, "Oh my God, that's my neighbor. They threw an awesome block party." Whatever you got to be known for, I guess.
That's funny. No, that's awesome.
No, so like I said, I think just getting out there and to me, it's being me. Like my lender always teases me, and I don't have it on today, but I usually have a braid and my flip flops and my sundress. Like some people call me a hippie chick or whatever. Like just be you.
Yeah.
Totally be authentically yourself. You know,
Yeah.
I like to goof around and have fun. I'm not. If I walked out in high heels and a business suit, everybody would be like, "Who is that?" My husband would be like, "Where's my wife? And what have you done with her?" You know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I just
That's
think
great.
that's easy to sell when you're just genuine and have
Right.
It's all about relationships. I don't think
That's
there's
right.
any secret to what I do versus any of the other realtors as far as relationship building. I think sometimes we get so focused, which I was lucky, focused on the dollar sign, that we don't think about building the relationships. And if you don't build those, you have nothing to carry with you.
Yeah, for sure. That's way out there, isn't it? Though?
It
West.
is. Yes,
That's
way
a long
out
drive
west.
out there.
Well, my husband, when we moved here from Michigan 5 years ago, he said, "I do not want to live in the city. Get in
Okay.
the car and drive as far as you can until you don't see life, and then pick something right there."
There it is.
Really? Okay.
Wow.
He said a few other things, but I won't share.
Yeah.
His
You have to pack like
criteria.
a sack lunch too. in
Yeah,
case you have to
right.
stop
Yeah,
along the side?
exactly.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, we just got
Fill
a
up the
Culver's.
tank?
We just got a gas station in a Culver's.
Wow.
That's funny.
No, but Verrado's unique because and which is why we picked it. Being from the Midwest, trees, grass, that stuff that people don't think exists in Arizona. Verrado has all that. We have 78 plus parks and hiking and biking trails. We have all the houses look different. So my husband, that was one of his things. He's like, "I don't want it to look like sheep herds, like where all the houses are the same color and they look the same. Like none of our houses look the same. They're very like some are Spanish, some are Cape Cod. I mean, they're just very different. Everything's very, nothing matches. It's just you'd have to go there to experience it.
Okay.
We have our own eclectic downtown. Like it's the only neighborhood other than DC Ranch that has a town.
Got
Like the
it.
good old school drugstore and the market, and we have festivals and parades and.
Well, I tell you what. Next time I want to plan a full day
Yes,
trip,
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll drive you around in my golf cart.
Golf
because I
cart
live
as
way out in the
well.
East Valley, so
Yeah, right.
golf cart, huh?
Yeah.
Drive around there.
That's I got the Tiffany logo on my golf cart too.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you mentioned too, you do a lot of open houses in there. That's
Yeah.
how you said that was almost like half of your entire business. last
Yeah,
year,
my
right?
first client, Kitty and George. I'll put a shout out to them. Yes, her name is Kitty. It's not short for anything.
All right.
But anyway,
Kitty
they were
and
from
George.
Michigan. They were a referral from one of my girlfriends that moved out here, and so that was my first buyer. My first sale was literally a house expired, and I called the lady up, and she didn't know her house expired. She was like, "What? What are you
News
talking
to
about?
me."
My house isn't expired." And then that really made her angry. So she was like, "Well, do you want to sell my house?" I was like, "Sure." And I literally put the house up on the market. A few days later, I had an open house. Somebody walked in and bought it. off the open
Nice.
house,
Wow.
Right
which is why
there.
you need to do open houses.
She said, "You want to list
Yeah.
my property?" I didn't know it was expired. Tiffany gets over there, and the lady's out front taking the sign off and
Yeah,
throwing
right.
it down the street. Whoever that other sign was.
Yeah, no, and I always tell her too. I'm like, I'm grateful she took a risk, like, and she knew. She was from Indiana. She was like, "You're a Midwest girl. Like, it's just different."
Yeah. Well, a lot of transplants, obviously. So,
Yeah.
and expireds and open houses were primarily the.
Huge open houses, and I think with open houses too, one of my clients that I sold a house to over the summer, they came in off the open house. They didn't buy that house, but they came in off the open house. I showed them a couple houses. They bought that one, and then I remember at the final walkthrough, he brought his dad. I was like, "Oh, are you next? You're gonna live in Verrado?" Because they came from California. He's like, "No." I sold him a house in December.
There you go.
In Verrado?
Yeah. So I'm saying from
there
one
we go.
open house, that's 2 deals.
Yeah.
So, I trust me, I sit at a lot of open houses and there's crickets. You can hear them and nobody comes. But if one deal, like one person buys a house,
Sure.
Yeah.
you make, let's just pretend because the average house is in Verrado, it's like $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 commission. I'll sit in an open house all
Yeah,
day
there you
long.
go. There you go.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, did you just ask other people in your office that had listings in there to sell
Well, like I
open
said, that
houses, or-
mentor that I had, that
Okay.
I hooked up
That's
with Martin's Here's with WestUSA, and
Oh, I know Martin.
Yes,
I
I
just
know
saw
you
him
guys
at the golf
interviewed him.
tournament.
Yeah, you did. You saw him there too. But
Yeah.
you guys have done this with him as well.
Did we? Yeah, we
Yes,
did.
yeah.
I know we did.
Anyway, Martin, I set a few open houses with him, and he kind of told me what to do. And then he just would always say, "Look at what houses I have listed, and you're welcome to hold them open." It's like I said, he really was like the person that kind of held me up at the beginning and kind of showed me the ropes, and then took off from there.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
have an
I don't know.
admin or anything, or is it just
No,
yourself?
it's just me.
Okay.
One man show. I do all my stuff myself, my social media and everything, which that's another thing I think is very important. If you're a beginner, I just think if you get caught up in all the craziness of it and you skip over the little things and you got to go back, it's harder to make up by going back and doing it, like I was always big on social media. I like social media, so now it's just my job. And I'm not a person that likes to just copy and share everything.
Yeah.
Right.
I'll literally take pictures of my neighborhood or my family or whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
And then I use that as a post. Even a quote. Like if I'm going to use a quote, I'll put it on our own pictures. Like I don't like to copy it.
Right, sure.
And I think if somebody
That's good.
saw that on my feed, they'd be like, "That's not her." You know?
Yeah.
And it just looks like you're not the same as everybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
So mostly in your personal feed, not
No,
on a
all
business
of it.
page or
Even
a
my
business page?
my
Okay.
business page. Everything is the real deal. That's what I
Good.
always say.
So what are the
Good.
percentages of your listing or
Business.
yeah business? Is it do buyers and sellers? I mean, what's the
Yeah,
ratio there?
no, I think it's probably about 50-50.
50-50?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it. This week I do a lot of out-of-state people. I started a page on Facebook. So when we moved here 5 years ago, we didn't know anybody in Arizona.
Wow.
And, I mean, well, I shouldn't take that. We had like a non-blood related relative. You know how you always like, "Oh, that's my
Yeah.
aunt," but she's really not, but she is.
Yes.
Anyway, so we only knew one person here. And when we moved, when we have our youngest son is disabled, we just had a lot of questions and nobody to ask the questions to. So I started a page a long time ago called Moving to Arizona to help answer those questions for people, because my husband and I being teachers, like we can answer about schools and school districts and that kind of stuff. And so that just developed into like, we have live sessions on Sundays where we get on there and my husband and I answer all kinds of questions that people have, and there's over 500 people on there now. And
Yeah.
this weekend I got 2 people flying out, one from the East Coast, and then another one from Salt Lake City to go shopping this weekend. So
Wow.
that a
That's
lot comes from
awesome.
that page too. Just again, if you just help people, which I like to do, I was a counselor, it comes natural.
Yeah.
But if you just help people out, I mean, I just think it goes with you.
Yeah.
It just follows you, the business. It just
No,
comes.
that's great. That's great.
That's good stuff.
Before we move to the next segment,
Okay.
what
I wanted to find out
go
about
ahead.
expires real quick.
Oh,
so,
yeah, go ahead.
So what are you doing? You just getting a list on that, or?
Yep. So, like for example, that lady, she wasn't expired, or like the one I was telling you about a second ago, my neighbor. I ended up trying to invite her to my block party. She couldn't come, and I said, "Well, hey, I just noticed your house went off the market too," and it had sat there for a long time, and it was actually something we all talked about at the party. Like, why is it sitting there? And so it'd been up for 6 months, and I said, "Let me come in and let's chat, and I'll at least give you the feedback that the whole neighborhood's talking about your house, And we did it, sat down, and a couple months later, our house was sold. It sat there for 6 months.
Okay.
But I think it's also being honest. Like for
Yeah.
that house, I was in an opportunity where she had another home. So I was like, maybe it'd be best if you left, and it was empty and vacant.
Because there's just too much stuff.
She
cluttered.
was a Disney fan, which it's fine. Anybody can be a Disney fan.
Sure.
But, I mean, there was like Mickey and Minnie everywhere. Kitchen, bathroom, master bedroom, everywhere.
Makes
and I
sense.
think it kind of freaked people out. It was like Mickey Paradise. So we cleared it all out. I staged it. I got certified in staging. I love staging. So we staged the whole house, not the whole house, but parts of the house. Like we figured out things. If you find something that you fall in love with, like she has an amazing view. So I staged the whole backyard because everybody would walk out there and see the view, and then they'd be sold.
There you go.
Somebody walked in on the open house and bought it.
great.
Really?
Yeah.
So you get to,
I got to
hate
pick my
say-
neighbor too, but I didn't
Oh,
pick my
okay.
neighbor. You can't do that.
That's right.
You
That's
can't.
right.
You can't.
Not supposed to, right?
No. Anybody could live there. But when I said I
Yes.
had great block parties, and it's kidding,
Yeah,
they were like sold.
Where do we sign up? We'll pay a premium.
Yeah.
No.
No, but now there are friends. I mean, that's another thing too. I'm probably friends with probably 75% of the people I've done deals with are now friends and hang out, and our
Yeah.
kids grow up, and we go camping with them, and
Sporting events.
yeah, I've been fortunate, I guess. Yeah, sporting events.
Hockey games.
No, I did go to a football game. ASU paid Michigan State. I went to Michigan State. It's the only reason
there
I
you
went,
go.
so I could wear the shirt.
ASU won that one, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
It was a
How many
terrible
goals
game.
did they score?
I don't know. I didn't watch.
Goals.
First of all, it was too hot to focus. It was
Yeah.
a smoking hot game.
Yeah. No. So where do you see the rest of 2019 going for you? I mean, what's kind of the goal or the plan?
Yeah.
Well, I would like to at least get to where I was last year. That would be amazing. My husband's really kind of ramped it up this year too, so that was helpful. Last year in the summer, it was so insanely busy. I was like, please go get your license. So at least you can help me with just the little stuff legally. Help me. And so he did that. So he's helped a tremendous amount as
Yeah.
well. So us partnering up more, him doing a lot more listings and sales. I think that would be great too. So I don't know. We'll just have double
Yeah.
the effort.
Awesome.
2 for the price of 1.
Yeah.
go.
That's what we tell everybody at our listing appointment.
But he still has his other.
Yes, he's
Yeah,
still a
right. Okay,
teacher. He's
okay.
a history teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
so-
Love to hear these stories.
What a great story.
Thank you.
Rising star story.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
She's gonna reach the toppie.
Yeah, I hope so. That's my goal.
Copy.
Ho,
You get
ho,
it?
ho. Yes, I do.
Oh,
I got it.
Don't use that for your branding.
No, I
Yeah,
will
no,
not
that's
use
really
that for my branding.
Oh,
I try
God.
to use things, like I said, I try to use things that are personal. Toppy is not one of them.
Copy. No.
I think it would be great.
My tag is
All right.
actually, I will take you home.
Oh,
There you go.
It's a Grateful Dead song.
really?
Yes, when I was young,
Dead.
I know it doesn't appear, but when I was young, I liked the Grateful Dead, and that was one of my, I lost my dad when I was young, and that song is about a little girl and her dad, and so I used the tag, I will take you home.
There you go.
So it's got meaning.
Everything
to you.
needs to have
Yes.
meaning or you can't sell it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Are you ready to get in the ring? Oh, first, I guess if any agents want to reach out to you,
Absolutely,
How-
anytime. I'm happy to do that.
how can they do that?
They can text me, call, email, go on my Facebook, my Instagram, whatever they want to do. I got a ton of, like, YouTube videos out there. Whatever they want to do, I'm more than happy. I always answer questions. Somebody will shoot me a text, or I even like helping people. I called my realtor friend on the way here because my email beeped and there was a house that went on the market, and I knew she had somebody looking in that price range, and I was like, hey, do you still have that client? Because there's an amazing house on the market.
There you
I don't
go.
get anything from it, but whatever. It's helping another person.
Nice.
That's great. So is that the phone number is right there on your phone, right?
Yeah, you want me to? No, this is
Hey.
not. No, this is
Oh, that's
actually my
not it?
business phone. You want my
Oh, go ahead.
personal one?
Well, whatever one you would say an agent could reach out to you.
Yeah, absolutely. 248-721-0131. That's my Detroit number.
All right.
My mentor
thought it
did
was.
tell me to change my Detroit number, but I refused to give it up.
Is that 818? No.
Yeah.
Just, what is that?
313.
313?
M&M.
Something. I don't, who knows?
8
Who
Mile,
knows?
you
I don't
mean?
know any of that stuff. I don't know any of that stuff. I'm out of the loop.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm too old. All right. Well, let's get in the ring.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do it. What's the best advice that anyone's ever given you?
Stay true to who you are.
Stay true.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Be honest.
Have a favorite mobile app?
Favorite mobile app? Ripple. If you're a beginning
okay,
real
Ripple,
estate agent,
yeah.
Ripple
That's a good
is a
one.
great one, and it's RIPL.
That is a good one. I think Is it on? It's on Android too, right?
It is.
Okay.
Yes, it
so
is.
It's both
It is.
iPhone and Android. There
So
you
is
go.
that what you're using for your photos and your
Yeah, I
videos
use
and-
mostly. Well, I used Ripple. Like at the beginning, I used it for everything. I was like Mrs. Ripple. Now I use like Canva. I use different ones, but Ripple I always use if I want to do a video with pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Good. A book recommendation. How about the one you just?
I just
No.
read a book. I literally just finished it this morning. It was called, I think, was it You Are a Badass? And I like the title, so that was really appealing. But yeah, no, I think, let's see who it's by. Yes, You Are a Badass. How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. By Jen Sincero. And literally, it's ironic you asked me that question because I don't really have time usually to read books. It was totally inspiring. In fact, on a ride home from Mexico, my husband asked me to start reading it out loud.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, this is good. Oh, this is good.
Well, you
He's
should
like,
get
"What are you
Audible
reading?"
because you know by the
Yeah.
time you drive from Buckeye to down here and back, you can
Yeah.
listen to 2 books.
Exactly, I could.
Oh gosh. All right. How about
funny.
a productivity tool or software that you use on a regular basis,
I don't know that I have a productivity tool.
or CRM or anything?
Oh yeah, I use Lion Desk.
Okay.
Sorry.
There you
Yeah,
go.
CRM.
Do you like it?
I like Lion Desk because I can text. So after I enter, like say today when I go home, after I enter all my new clients or people I've been in touch with,
Yeah.
I'll put them in there. I'll click all of them and text them all like, "Hey, it was great to meet you. Whatever. Have a great day," or "Happy Hump Day," and I'll give
Yeah.
them a quote or a picture. I try to do that stuff.
So you can send out a text
Yes.
to everyone,
Everyone.
all separately, but the same. That's cool.
And I can tag people. So, like, for example, I'll tag people Verado Neighbor. So, we have the Verado Community Garage Sale coming up this weekend. I can hit tag Verado Neighbor. It will pull only those people, and I can text all of them saying, hey, reminder, garage sale from 7 to 12.
Ah.
like
Do you have
Bring
a,
value to people.
yeah? Do you have a tag that's Verado? Do not invite to block party.
That's not very Verado, and that is a hashtag.
Oh gosh, I'm just teasing.
I know.
Okay, last question.
Yes.
Have your draw.
This is beautiful. What is that, velvet?
Ooh. Well, I already kind of said this one. I want
Oh,
a
okay.
new
You want a new
question.
one? There
What
you
was
go.
your favorite band? I
let's do
kind of
different.
said I liked
Oh
the Grateful
yeah.
Dead.
All right, we'll get a different one. You can read them all if you want.
Okay, let's just read them all. Just kidding. Who's your favorite superhero and why? Does it have to be like, I don't know superhero?
Okay, next one.
Next one, okay.
Yeah, do
How
next
about
one.
the next
No,
one?
I will. I'll
think
be
the
really
next one
sim-
is what's your favorite sport? No, I'm just teasing.
I
Oh.
can answer this
Okay,
one. I can
cool.
make up a superhero.
You can.
Okay, do it.
Yeah. Well, my dad was my superhero. I lost my dad when I was 22. I mean, I absolutely, no words needed, right? No. Yeah, no, my dad was my superhero. He was a huge entrepreneur. He started his own business 3 times, made $1 million, and then went bankrupt, did it over and over again, finally figured it out. But he died like 70 years old of Alzheimer's, but literally he is my superhero. Even to this day, I talk about him. He's alive in our home, pictures, and
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
so,
That's probably the best answer we got for
yes.
that question.
Yes.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah. Normally Joey answers with Wonder Woman.
I do.
I don't. My son could answer superheroes, but I'm not really into that.
Super Dad is good. Is the best one.
Absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely. Well, thank you so much for stopping in.
Yes, thanks for
Oh, and
having
thank
me.
you to Rachel
Rachel.
Turner
Turner.
for inviting you in as well.
Yes,
So,
and for my brand, she made Tiffany who she is.
Yeah.
there we go.
It was on the top of the mountain.
I
so-
think
Yes.
we're alone now.
Yeah, we were at happy
Tiffany,
hour
no.
actually.
Yeah, I hope that you hear that song sometimes.
I know. I'll probably hear it on the way home,
Yeah, there we
and
go.
then I'll get on my video and do a live.
There we
Yeah,
go.
there you go. All right. Well, thanks so much for coming in.
Absolutely.
We appreciate
Yeah,
it.
this was fun.
Great success story. And until next time, you guys, we will see you later.
Yes.
Adios. Great job.
Good job.
Thanks.